Hey guys, it's Michael, aka the movie ads guy. Back at it again. I know it's been a while, but for one thing, there wasn't a lot of significant, movie advertising news that came out in the past few weeks. Plus, I wanted to take a little break because I have school and stuff. So, oh yeah, and speaking of the last few weeks, there was a few things like the new improved Aladdin trailer. Good job. Um, there's news about a new Scooby Doo movie coming out, and Will Forte taking over Matthew Lillard. But other than that, there hasn't really been that much significant updates in the world of movie advertising. But for this video, I wanna steer away from movie advertising for a little bit and just talk about a little piece of movie news that I just read about 30 seconds ago. So, James Gunn was reinstated as the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 director. That's right. James Gunn, the guy that basically got Me Too'd out of the franchise he helped basically, bring to life. Uh, Actually, it wasn't Me Too. People, no. Disney found his old tweets that had jokes about like child pedophilia and stuff. But yeah, he basically got kicked out of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise a while back, and I just read news that he's back. Now, this is interesting to me because one, within that time when James Gunn was still looking for a job, um, he went on to sign on to direct the Suicide Squad sequel slash reboot that Warner Brothers and DC is putting on, with Idris Elba now playing Deadshot. So that's going to cause some scheduling conflicts, and now he's playing for both teams, for DC and Marvel. So that might have some repercussions on its own. But for the most part, if they can work something out, you know, then they can work something out. But the most interesting thing to me about James Gunn coming back onto Guardians of the Galaxy is that if you guys remember, James Gunn got kicked out in the middle of basically all of this. I guess this no tolerance trend for any sexual harassment, sexual jokes, any of that. Um, Not just Me Too, but overall in Hollywood, there's just been this big uproar of trying to kick out anybody who could potentially be, you know, a sexual like villain. I don't Sexual villain. You know what I mean? Okay, so what do I think about this? Well, the first thought I had in my head is, what if Disney was planning all of this? Like, um, what if Disney decided to fire James Gunn in the midst of all of that, basically just to make face and say that we have no tolerance to, and see what kind of reaction that would get. And then once the movement started to, I guess, die down or just not be as hard on people, then they decided to, bring James Gunn back. That was my first thought. And then I thought about it some more, and um, I realized that because even because the Michael Jackson documentary Leaving Neverland just came out like last week or 2 weeks ago, all of this stuff isn't done. We're still in the midst of this great movement where you know people need to be let go for things they've done. But James Gunn was his issue was always a tricky one because there's been no proof of him actually really doing anything. But he did make some crass jokes back in the day, and at the time he did it, crass humor was like the in thing. That was right before the whole politically correct movement. If you can remember, around like 2011, Charlie Sheen basically did everything every Me Too person ever did ever, and he got more famous and got his own show because of it. So, times change. Um, what else can I say? Um, and then I thought about it some more, and I think there is a bit of authenticity in trying to bring him back. Um, if the cast and the crew members and some other filmmakers didn't stick up for him and make noise about the issue, including the Guardians of the Galaxy cast, if if they didn't make any noise about this, then chances are he wouldn't have been rehired. Um, if any of them had any claims of harassment against him on the Guardians of the Galaxy set, or if he made any like comments that were unacceptable, then chances are he wouldn't have come back. But the cast really wanted him back, and there were a lot of people sticking up for him, so he was able to come back. Plus, I really do think that some people at the top were trying to figure it out as they go. People at the top, they're not all the same. And there's probably like a C-level executive that really just does things to, keep the keep the stock value up, and yeah, basically just to like keep the stock value up and keep a good image. But there's also probably another C-level um, employee at Disney that tried to see the nuance in the situation and tried to like really understand what I guess the level of consequence that somebody like James Gunn would deserve. So I feel like this Me Too movement and all of this whole like I don't know what else to call it, this whole like sex crime, this anti-sex crime or harassment movement going on in Hollywood. I think this movement was needed to start the conversation. And if you know how long conversations go, they don't really go pretty. You have to. It's like in sales. You have to start with a big claim, see where things go, let people get mad, let people get really happy, and just let people go buck wild, trying to like, I guess, find evidence to prove their point and this and that. And after a while, after maybe a long while, most people would come to a conclusion about what would be acceptable and unacceptable when it comes to, you know, professional behavior. So, good job with Disney for hiring James Gunn back. I feel like this franchise wouldn't be the same without him. And I'm sorry he made all those jokes back on Twitter back in the day, but like I said, that was kind of the in thing. And honestly, those jokes he made were probably like a cry for attention because people who don't have attention and understanding often look for reactions. And that's just how psychology works. So shock value equals reactions, obviously. But at the same time, you can't let him 100% off the hook. Of course, with anybody you hire professionally, you have to stay on your toes because some people have so much power that you never know. So I feel like Disney's going to be very on their toes. They're going to be looking over his shoulder while he's doing what he needs to do. But hopefully we can just get a great movie out of this and nobody gets hurt. All right.